Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we're going to talk about why you need to be surveying your audience. So this seems like a basic one, but a lot of people fail to do this, or people might do this once a year, but ideally you're probably doing it more than that. So let's say you're a service-based business, like you have an agency, for example. Well, what you want to ideally be doing is checking in with your audience or checking in with your clients. And you might run like an NPS kind of survey to see a Net Promoter Score survey to see where you're at. If people would be recommending you, or people are indifferent to you, or people would say negative things about you, and that'll give you a general idea of kind of where you stand. And then obviously beyond that, you would ask more poignant questions as to what did you like about our service, what didn't you like. So then you can take the feedback and look at what's popping up more often than not, and then actually start to take action. Right? You're trying to discern signal from noise. Let's say you're getting a lot of different surveys, but if the same thing keeps popping up over and over, that means you should probably be taking a look at it. Same thing if you're a product-based business as well. So that's a good starting point. Neil, I know you have a lot of thoughts around surveys. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so let's actually take a step back and let's go through a scenario right now. So imagine I'm on Eric's site. Eric, so I'm on Single Grain. I visit your homepage. I visit your consulting page. Maybe I read another blog post, and then I leave. Why didn't I convert?
Right. You could come up with a ton of different hypotheses, right? But ideally, you might have a question using a tool like Qualaroo that might ask people, hey, why didn't you convert?
That's right. Because normally what would people do, right? Like, what do you do every single day when you're looking at your website? Like, to try to figure out how to improve it. What's one thing?
I look at my analytics. I look at the numbers all the time, right? So that's qualitative. Quantitative,
that's right.
I should say.
And when Eric looks at qualitative data, it's telling him numbers. But when someone leaves your website, let's say I left Eric's website, does the numbers actually tell you why someone left? No. Numbers give you great insights, but they don't tell you the whole story. So qualitative, like Eric is saying, is the numbers. Or quantitative, sorry about that. Quantitative is the numbers. Qualitative is the feedback, surveying, the voice. When someone leaves your website, they won't tell you why they left your website or what's wrong unless you ask them. And that's why you want to survey. So one tool that I use is Qualaroo. And the one thing I do is when I survey people to figure out why they left my website, I make sure that I do one thing really well. And that's ask a non-biased question. And the second is ask it to enough people. Because if you only ask 5 or 10 people, you may end up getting people saying different things here and there. But if you ask 30, 50, 100, right? Technically not ask. If you get 30, 50, 100 responses, you'll start noticing patterns. And what you want to do is when you start getting feedback related to a specific area, that's what you want to focus on solving first. And you can either do this by adjusting the site, the copy, messaging, whatever it may be. Typically, you'll find that it's usually related to the copy and the messaging that impacts the conversions more than anything else. But you have to start off by analyzing data in large quantity. And when I mean data, not just numbers, but qualitative, right? Feedback, user feedback.
And if you want to take it one step deeper, I mean, you can definitely use a tool like user testing, which actually has people, you can ask them a question and then there'll be a screen share of them going through your website, and sometimes it might even show them on camera, talking about where they're getting hung up, where they're getting confused, and you're collecting even more data. And I think you can buy a certain allocation of tests just to see how people are behaving on your site. And then also, I do like using SurveyMonkey for surveys, and you can also use Typeform too. But I'm going to talk about SurveyMonkey because SurveyMonkey actually allows you to do pop-up surveys on your site, and then you can also send people a direct link as well. You can mail it out. So there's a couple of different ways to do it, and I like how SurveyMonkey has templates that are already set up. So if I'm trying to run a customer feedback kind of survey, they're going to have those questions set up and I can just choose what I like. I just ran a survey the other day and it included an NPS score barometer, and then it included a couple other questions, and I just eliminated or adjusted a couple of things, and it made it really easy for me. So I've tested out both. I've tested out the pop-ups. I've tested out using the link as well. Both work out really well, and then you can also stop the pop-ups once they reach a certain amount of people, and you can also tailor tailor it to only reach, let's say, 5% of your website visitors, so you're not hitting every single person. So they're the big gorilla in the space, I think. But when you have a tool like Typeform's easy to use. It's easy to use on mobile too, and it's designed very well. So a couple different options there.
And Eric mentioned user testing. The only thing to be careful about user testing is the person who is viewing your website. For example, Eric offers B2B services, and his B2B or B2B and B2C service, but he's in the B2B realm, right? Like he helps either consumers or businesses, but Eric in essence is only selling to businesses, right? Because someone who pays him for marketing isn't going to be Joe Schmo on the street who buys a sweater. It may be Nordstrom's who sells sweaters, or it could be a software company like SurveyMonkey who wants to grow their traffic. Now, with user testing, a random person who just buys sweaters and doesn't own a business comes to him and says, hey, here are the issues with your website. Well, they're not that qualified.
Right.
That random person would never work with Eric or hire him. So you want to make sure that whoever is viewing your website and giving you feedback, they're relevant and they're your ideal customer. Because if they're not your ideal customer, their feedback is irrelevant.
Totally agree. And I'm trying to figure out other things that might be applicable here. While I do that, Neil, do you have anything else to add on the survey side? I think it's pretty straightforward. I think perhaps trying to figure out other questions. I think the Kissmetrics blog, you guys had a lot of good stuff in the past about the right questions to ask and how to ask the right questions. I think it's worth taking a look at that, and even just Googling how to ask the right survey questions would help you a lot in terms of framing it, because if you're asking terrible questions or very biased questions, you're not going to get the best feedback possible, and you're not going to be able to take the best action possible for your business.
Yep. No, you pretty much nailed it. And I think that's pretty much it for today's episode.
All right, that's it for today. Let us know what you think. Give us more topic ideas. We'll see you tomorrow.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.